Hello everyone, Fitmaker here. I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about how I feel about Renegades. So for starters, I think off the rip, I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now, I think that this is a very solid DLC. Um, it's got very good things that they've done, but it's also got a few negative things um, that they just didn't change at all. Um, but I think some positive things that they have done are. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit.
Your benefactor paid 4 hours.
But I think that I guess there is also one negative thing, but we'll kind of jump around a little bit here. I want to make this a decently average video size. I don't want to make it too long for you guys to sit through, and I don't want to make it too short for me not to get all my thoughts out of the way. Um, but I feel like the overall story. I'll start with story. So the overall story I feel like is pretty solid. They are doing a pretty good job with where the story is taking us. Um, I think the new main villain, Bale, is a very entertaining villain, and if you're into the lore, he is a very lore heavy villain with his backstory and what he's currently doing. Um, which is, I mean, he's doing some things you wouldn't think of, stuff with his face and all that. I'm not gonna spoil any of it just in case you haven't read on the lore books or looked at any lore videos or anything, but he's got a very interesting story. Premier Loom, he's pretty cool as well. Don't really know much about him though, personally, but he's pretty cool. But the story was pretty cool. I wish that they would use the Praxic warrior girl. I can't think of her name right now. I wish they would use her more though. Um, Also, I do feel like eventually in the future, when they eventually bring Veil out again, that they should bring. I'm gonna turn my volume down a little bit more, but I think that they should also use. Here we go. I'm just gonna turn everything down. But I feel like using her more, and I feel like they should use our Guardian more as well. It'd be awesome to get a lightsaber duel. That'd be cool. But that's not what we're talking about here today. I wanted to talk about how I feel about the story and the gameplay, the dungeon, stuff like that. So I feel like that the story was pretty solid, as I've said already. I feel like they definitely could have worked on a few things with the story. I feel like it was very short especially compared to Edge of Fate. Granted, Edge of Fate's story was definitely drawn out, but it was definitely very short. Still very entertaining. I'm glad that they did not overdo the Star Wars aspects for people who are not fans of Star Wars. They definitely did not overdo it. Um, they did really cool little Easter eggs, callbacks to Star Wars, which I thought was really cool. Um, so overall story, I would give a good 8 out of 10, honestly. The DLC as a whole, honestly, I'd almost give it a 8 or almost 9, honestly, for me personally, because I mean, the dungeon, which I'll talk about later, is, in my opinion, very good. Because it's not a hard dungeon. It's definitely an entry-level dungeon. But it is also a very fun dungeon. It's not too complex. It's not too easy. It's not hard. It's just an overall very fun dungeon. But I will get into that later. Gameplay. I think the gameplay is actually very fun. The gameplay loop is very fun with the new medallions, as you can see I'm using currently. I think it definitely puts a nice little spin. The actual activity, this activity currently, Lawless Frontiers, is also very fun and entertaining to play with. Um, it doesn't feel very boring, um, which is honestly a surprise. Sorry about that, I was yawning. But yeah, no, it's honestly a very big surprise to me that this activity is not too boring. Um, but sorry, I was paying attention to the dialogue. Um, the lightsaber. Let's talk about the lightsaber. The lightsaber, I feel like, is a very amazing add-on, with it being the main selling point of this DLC for a lot of people. I think it's a very good weapon. It's probably one of the best right now currently in the game to use. But I think overall the aesthetic of it, the amount of customization you can do to it, the amount of modding you can do to it is very cool. The capabilities you can make with the builds are endless. You can make a throwing blade build, you can make a guarding build, you can make just an impact build. I mean, there is a lot you can do with it, and I mean, there's a lot of cores, there's a lot of, you know, handles, a lot of different, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Saber colors. I'm also very glad that they didn't make too many of them paywalls. Only 3 of them are paywalls currently. All the other ones are RNG based, which is very awesome. Um, the gameplay also, I almost forgot to talk about this one, but since Invasions happened, I almost forgot about Invasions, is also, honestly, when I first heard Invasions, I didn't think it was going to go too great. I thought it was just going to be kind of like Gambit, but they did a very good job with making Invasions. It's not, they didn't overdo it, they didn't do too much with it. It's an overall very good add-on. Um, but yeah, I personally think Invasions is fun. It puts a spin on your each game if you get an invader. Um, it also ties in with the red crystal, which I know a lot of people are struggling to get. But it's very fun. The only problem I have with Invasion is when you go up in a 1v1, you're really just kind of playing against this ability right here. Oh, well, I died. But you're playing against the ability to just get your super back instantly. It's basically whoever pops the super first in that game. But whenever people don't do that, it is a very fun 1v1 you guys can do. First to 3, basically, kills. Um, but it is definitely fun to do that. I do appreciate it. Um, I would give that game mode probably a 6 or 7, honestly. It's not terrible. It's not amazing though, but it is fairly fun, especially for your first few tries of going through it. Um, but yeah, no. So that's the Invasions. Lawless Frontiers, I give it a good 7, honestly, even 8. I feel like it's probably one of the best actual in-game activities we've got in a while. Because you know, as Edge of Fates, I mean, realistically, your only, you know, real event was the event that would happen, you know, every 30 minutes, and it didn't even really give that great a loot. This gives you, you know, the crystals as a rare drop chance. It gives you a few weapons, armor pieces from the DLC, stuff like that. And I mean, it's a very solid event. Um, I think the factions is very awesome too. I think they did a well job. Only thing is, I just kind of it's kind of recycled content if you think about it, though, because it's kind of like how Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, and New Monarchy were. Realistically, it's basically what it is, just different factions. Which honestly, I think it's fine. I don't really feel like they should ever remove factions. It was just a fun way to get extra levels, basically, for more guns and armor pieces and stuff like that. Granted, this time it's not armor, but you are getting different guns. Um, but I think it'd be cool if they added more possibly in the future as well. Maybe. Um, but no, I think that was a very fun addition that they added. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the gameplay for me. Oh, and I almost forgot the guns. The heat guns are very overpowered, which is a good thing but a bad thing at the same time, because in my opinion currently, and from what I've seen on YouTube as well, is that a lot of people are complaining that it almost feels like if you're not using the heat guns realistically, I mean, apart from heavies, I mean, there really isn't a reason to use any other gun, because I mean, the heat guns are just so much better. You don't have to reload. Um, you know, you can make some crazy builds. They do crazy amounts of damage, so it's just, you know, they're just so much better than. I'm really not liking this guy right now, but yeah, they're just a lot better than, you know, your normal guns, with the exception of a few. But for the most part, most of the energy guns are better than most of the guns in this game. Um, with that being said, the armor bonuses are actually very good. Sorry, I had to yawn again one more time. But they are very solid as well, armor sets. Trials came back as well with the new armor set, new weapon pool. Also, they brought back a Trials of the Nine shader. It's called I think it was called Benevolence of the Nine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too sure though, but I'm pretty sure they brought that back as well. The armor set looks great. It's got a pretty good, in my opinion, stats for PvP if you're a PvP player, which is very much needed, I feel like, for PvP, because PvP is also in a bad spot. Still is. I don't feel like the... definitely don't feel like the... whatchamacallit helped at all, though. I don't feel like adding all the heat guns helped PvP at all, because a lot of them are busted, especially the secondary hand cannon with the sniper scope on it. Very busted. You know, it can 2 or 3 tap people, which is pretty nuts for it being a just a secondary hand cannon with a high fast fire rate. But yeah, no, I feel like that's about sums up the gameplay for me. Me personally, since I'm a PvE player, I would give the gameplay a nice 8. It's a very entertaining, fun gameplay loop. Definitely didn't overdo it with that. But yeah, no, I definitely don't feel like they overdid it at all. Next thing I want to talk about the dungeon. So the dungeon, I feel like, is, for me personally, my favorite part about this DLC. I really do enjoy the dungeon. I think the gameplay mechanics, I feel like the bosses are cool. They did a very good job with the lightsaber boss. I feel like I really like the mechanics of, for instance, like, it's a small detail, but where you have to wait for the enemies to come through the door to go through the door. I think that that is a very cool thing that they've never done before. And the final boss, even, I mean, he's very, very cool, and he's also, what, I'm pretty sure only our second, maybe even our first, I don't really remember. I think it might be our second, though, ever humanoid boss, which I find very cool. And it was definitely a surprise to me as well, because I thought Premier Loom probably would have been the DLC dungeon boss, to be honest with you, after he ran away. I did not know he was going to be saved for something else, but yeah, no, I think it's fun. I think it's cool how they tied the Darksaber color, as you can see I'm using currently in the gameplay. I think that that was a very good idea, to not make it a shot bot and tie it in as a random drop chance. The bow is not great from what I've heard, the secondary heirloom. I've heard it's not too great, but I also don't have it, so I can't really put my input on it yet. But I think it's, whatever. I don't really use bows, like crossbows, that much anyways. So I personally don't really mind all that much. That's not great. But yeah, no, oh, another big thing I want to touch on. If you did the, like, puzzles in the dungeon as well, I think that's also how you get the catalyst for the bow. And I think it is very cool how you can, set specific loot. That is a very good add-on that they did not have to do, but they definitely did, and it works very well. The encounter challenges are also, simple, easy for new players. If you're a long-term player, you could throw on Cutthroat, which makes it a lot harder, which is also very hard, especially if you want to do all 5 of the feats on it. But yeah, no, those work very well as well. But yeah, no, if you are a big fan of, endgame content such as dungeon and raids, it is definitely a solid dungeon, and I would give it probably a good, honestly, 8, almost 9. But yeah, no, I think that is a very fun dungeon. So overall, those are most of the positives I have for the DLC itself. So some negatives I have for it are, like I said already, I guess I said one, which is the heat gun problem. I feel like it makes all the other guns pretty much, and not really worth using at all. Sorry for all the ums, and I'm just kind of talking off the dome. I don't have any script written out or anything, so this will be very, very raw of, what I'm thinking about. But yeah, no, so I don't feel like I don't feel like writing a script, because I know that that would take me forever to write a script. I kind of like talking off the dome anyways, and plus I start stuttering a lot, so I didn't want to write a script. Just on the off chance I started stuttering a lot. So yeah, no, I'm just kind of talking and talk about the dungeon until this is over. But yeah, no. Oh, what was I saying? Oh man. Oh yeah, the negatives. So I feel like they didn't really. Oh man. They did not get rid of the portal, which I didn't expect them to get rid of the portal. To be honest with you, I knew they weren't going to get rid of the portal, but I did have one problem, and it is that all old content is still pretty much useless. All that content on the world page has literally nothing to do. All the raids are useless. There's no reason to do any of the other raids. I mean, I don't even think that the Perpetual has any reason to do it, because I mean, I don't even think it's Pinnacle at all. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's not even Pinnacle anymore, which is a very big problem, I feel like, considering that is, you know, a big part of a DLC that came out not even a full year ago at this point. Um, but yeah, no, oh wow, okay. But yeah, no, all the old content is pretty much useless. There's really no reason to do any of it unless you're chasing a certain weapon or armor piece that you're wanting. Um, so that is one big gripe I have. I already said weapons are a gripe for me. I feel like the DLC was really short, which is also knocking a few points off for me. Um, and I also do feel like long term, until we get our next mid update in, I believe it's what, April, we are going to be, I feel like this is going to get repetitive eventually, and we are going to have probably be on the struggle bus again for a while. I don't think it'll be nearly as bad as Edge of Fate was, due to there being a lot more actual content, not just, you know, solo ops to do. Um, but no, I do hope that the Dawning also will help carry it a few weeks, and definitely have to hope that the next mid update as well is a lot better than Ash and Iron, because Ash and Iron did not bring much of anything at all. And yeah, no, it's gonna take a lot, I feel like, to keep the player base going strong on this one. Just due to there just not being a whole lot of content. And it, you know, they didn't also spread a lot of the content out either, which definitely did not help either. Um, I need to get in the ship. But yeah, no, honestly, those were most of my complaints I have that I can think of right now. You know, like I said, these guns are good. Honestly, the only time I swap off of a heat weapon, honestly, is PvP. But I mean, even then in PvP, I'll still use this one all the time. But yeah, no, I mean, other than that, I really don't have that many gripes this DLC. Honestly, it's an overall very solid DLC, and I definitely feel like it is worth possibly your $40. That is how I feel about it. I definitely feel like that is going to be worth your $40, and I do not think you're getting scammed whatsoever on your $40. Um, honestly, that's about as much as I needed to talk about. Like I said, don't want to hold you up too much. I'm sure you guys all have lives, obviously, so you can't stay here forever. But yeah, no, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing. And stay tuned for more uploads, as I'm trying to upload consistently every day, and if not every day, I try to upload at least every other day if I'm not uploading every day. Um, but yeah, no, that's about all I have to say today. If you do like this video, as I've said already, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys soon. See ya.